This is Southern Cross News with Joe Palmer.
Good evening, everyone. The state government has released more details on how it will fix the state's ailing water infrastructure faster if its hostile takeover of Taswater goes ahead. But owner councils and the state opposition continue to doubt the Treasurer's scheme, saying he still can't detail how he plans to fund it.
Compiled by Infrastructure Tasmania, Peter Gutwin says his blueprint proves Taswater's current 10-year plan can be shortened to 7. He's also sought the backing of independent engineering firm Pitt & Sherry, who agree the plan is feasible, but the local industry will need to step up.
The report very clearly provides the information that local government have wanted. There is a detailed infrastructure plan here that demonstrates quite clearly that the job can be done.
The report identifies shortfalls in expertise as a major challenge, and interstate contractors will need to move in for the bigger jobs, including sewer upgrades in Hobart, Launceston and the Northern Midlands. But the Master Builders Association remains optimistic, saying up to 70% of projects can be completed by locals.
We have virtually a 10-year time frame now laid out in front of us. So any contractors working in the industry can go forward with some confidence knowing there's a decade's worth of work there that will underpin broader infrastructure spending in Tasmania.
Labor and Taswater's owners are already sceptical. They want to see detailed plans on how the government plans to pay for the big fix without impacting on ratepayers and other state government services.
Well, what we've got here is a report that's been commissioned by the government of its government agency to tell it what he wants to hear. It feels a little bit like an episode out of Yes Minister, to be honest.
Their plan is based upon borrowing an extra $600 million, and which is going to have to be repaid by present and future generations.
Legislation to take over Taswater will be tabled in late August. Andrew McCarthy, Southern Cross News.
Plans are in the works for an Australian first care facility at Derwent Park, designed especially for people with dementia. The Dementia Village concept mimics a real-life community, allowing residents to go about everyday life in a protected environment.
This is a small community in the United States. Rows of houses set up to look like an ordinary neighbourhood. But there's nothing ordinary about this facility, which uses a groundbreaking concept catered for the special needs of people with dementia.
Parts of your brain become disconnected from each other. So you may well be able to take in the environment, see and hear things as everybody else does, but putting the pieces together can be quite difficult.
Plans are now being drawn up to bring this type of care here. In an Australian first, a $25 million facility will be constructed on this land at Derwent Park near Cosgrove High School. The village will take on a familiar cul-de-sac style with 15 six-bedroom houses, a supermarket, cinema, cafe and salon, allowing people with dementia to live normal lives.
Residents will be able to wander through the village supported, and they'll have staff that will be able to be discreet observation. There'll be technology. The design of the facility will be such that it'll support residents within the village to stay safe.
Researchers say a similar dementia village in the Netherlands proved benefits.
People who go into more home-like environments where they can reduce stress is that they do live longer, but perhaps more important than that, we look at measures of quality of life.
They're not patients. This isn't a hospital, and that's the very reason that we're creating this village. This is about supporting individuals living with dementia in a real-life environment.
It's estimated more than 7,000 Tasmanians are living with dementia, with that figure expected to double in the next 20 years.
This will be incredibly sought after. If you think at the moment of what the alternative options are, there are many people that are in the hospital system at the moment that are unable to find suitable accommodation.
Construction is due to be completed by mid-2019. Michael Breen, Southern Cross News.
Cradle Mountain is a step closer to having a new multi-million-dollar visitor centre. The Kentish Council approved the development application for the facility at its meeting last night, but did include some conditions.
Construction could start on this new gateway to Cradle Mountain in as little as a few months. The contemporary visitor centre that will include a restaurant, bar and cafe has been the Cradle Coast Authority's vision for years. Now it's over its big hurdle.
We've been working on this for a long time, so to see now that the first step in the reimagining of Cradle Mountain get approved, it's great.
Councillors unanimously supported the Parks and Wildlife Service proposal, giving it the green light, but with a few conditions. Those include the colours of the external cladding, other than natural stone, timber and glass, must only be certain earth tones. All glazing must be non-reflective, and no native vegetation is to be destroyed or removed outside areas identified in the endorsed site plan.
The passage of that DA through Council last night now means that the $22 million that we provided in this budget can now start to flow.
The state government is funding the entire visitor centre development. The group who put in representation on the proposal now has 2 weeks to appeal the council's decision. If no appeal is made, tenders will be called for, with construction hoped to begin before the end of the year.
I think within 18 months we will see a new visitor facility at Cradle Mountain.
The centre is the first stage in a $160 million master plan for the area. A new viewing shelter at Dove Lake will be the next step in the project. Monika Dadson, Southern Cross News.
A campaign is underway fighting additional charges for the delivery of paper statements. A community forum in Glenorchy heard that some banks, utility companies and service providers are charging customers more than it costs to produce posted statements.
So it's about 94 cents, which includes postage, print and the envelope. When they're charging $2.50 or a couple that are now coming up with $6, it's absolute fleecing.
We know that a lot of people in Glenorchy and in all parts of Tasmania don't have the internet. They can't get their bills online. They have to get them by post. And why should they be slugged a fee for that?
The Keep Me Posted campaign is urging concerned residents to lobby their local member of federal parliament. The Sydney Dance Company has arrived in Tasmania as part of its national tour. Dancers this afternoon putting the finishing touches on their double bill performance of Frame of Mind and Wildebeest at the Princess Theatre. Hobart-born performer Jessie Scales features in the piece alongside 13 others. The show opens in Launceston tonight, then moves to Hobart with shows at the Theatre Royal on Friday and Saturday. Tickets are still available. Now a look at the day's business and finance news with thanks to Tasplan, your local super fund. The share market has closed higher thanks to a sharp rally by the major banks caused by the announcement of softer than expected new capital measures for the industry. The ASX 200 index has risen by 44.7 points. Short time ago, the Australian dollar was trading at 79.31 US cents and 68.7 euro cents.
Well, she's a cult favourite among the Chargers faithful and has been the side's most consistent performer since brought into the fray 5 seasons ago. But now, in the form of her career, Kathleen Shear will soon have to make the tough decision whether to stay on in Hobart or pursue bigger things. With another top-scoring effort in the weekend's win over the Tornadoes, earning Shear yet another spot in the Siebel Team of the Week, the import is red hot.
Her season's been spectacular, to be honest, and I'd be very surprised if she's not in the running for the MVP and other accolades as well.
I feel like I'm kind of at my peak right now, which is good, and it's probably the best basketball I've played just personally, so and I'm enjoying it.
With the Chargers eyeing off finals, Shear is leading the charge in her 5th season with the club, but it could potentially be her last, with Shear now seeking out an agent for the first time since arriving in Australia.
It's looking at whether you try to stay in Australia and play, which is really competitive, or you try to go to Europe, which I haven't done yet, which might be something cool to do, something different.
Or ideally, her return to the WNBL.
It would be awesome, yeah. It's such a good league and it's getting better every year, and I just have so much respect for it and really enjoyed my time in it when I was playing.
But with Shear now a staple at the Chargers, the club won't be letting her go without putting up a serious fight.
When the club's ready to have that conversation, I'll certainly be saying that we want to keep Kathleen Shear, that's for sure. As a club, I think we'd be crazy to turn her back on a 5 or 6 year import who, male or female, is probably one of the best American imports we've had.
King Island runner Stuart McSwain has set a new Tasmanian record for the 1 mile run. Competing in Ireland, McSwain came painfully close to coupling his extraordinary time with the race win.
Affectionately known as the King of King Island, Stuart McSwain keeps getting better. His latest effort, the prestigious Cork Mile, an international meet now in its 66th year. And early on, the Irish commentators were backing a Tassie triumph.
You know something, I have a sneaking suspicion for a guy called Stuart McSwain. He won the 5,000 metres in Morton last week and he was really impressive.
Midway through the mile, that prediction seemed doomed. McSwain was sinking down the order. But on the final lap, his momentum picked up, climbing from 4th to 2nd in a gut-busting effort on the last turn, before charging down the straight and nearly snatching the win.
Stuart McSwain in second place is finishing like a train. McSwain is nearly up there but didn't quite make it.
What he did make is a new Tasmanian record, his time of 3 minutes 55.97, beating Ryan Foster's previous state record. Together, they are the only two Tasmanians to crack a 4-minute mile. Elsewhere, Tassie canoeist Daniel Watkins is into the semi-finals at the Under-23 World Championships in Slovakia. Watkins finished the slalom with no penalties and recorded the 9th fastest qualifying time.
Yeah, that run had plenty of time at the bottom of it, and of course it's only quals, but I was still top 10 and I could milk a lot of time out of that run.
Back home, and the round-robin stage of the Underwater Hockey World Championships being held in Hobart finished up today. New Zealand and Colombia are named the teams to beat in the finals, but a tight playing field means Australia is right in the mix.
For example, we beat Argentina, Argentina beat France, then France beat us. So it's sort of like, yeah, we're all in it.
Grand finals across 4 divisions will be played on Saturday. And Burnie golfer Ryan McCarthy's British Open got off to a bad start after his clubs were lost in transit. Luckily for him, a new set has been custom made. Tom Johnson, Southern Cross News.
Good evening. Hobart 12 degrees today. Launceston and Devonport our states high with 15, while Burnie reached 13. Most of the early rain cleared, but a few showers did continue over the west. Flinders Island, Low Head and St Helens 14 degrees today. Wynyard and Cressy 13. Bushy Park and Campania 12. King Island, Strawn, Grove and Friendly Beaches all made it to 11. Middle and upper level cloud covers large portions of the Tasman Sea. There is bright thundercloud off the New South Wales coast and a couple of curved spiral cloud bands on the map too. One near Tasmania and the other south of WA. The west and far south had continuing cloud cover today with bands of oncoming cloud to our southwest. Tomorrow, a ridge of high pressure lies over central Australia as a low pressure trough approaches Tasmania. A large low is building south of Western Australia. The winds will be southwesterly at 20 to 30 knots, reaching up to 35 knots in the west and northwest. A southerly change will develop during the day ahead of an easing later in the afternoon. Swells up to 5 metres in western and southern waters before decaying to 3 to 4 metres in the afternoon. Gale warning, that's for waters between Low Rocky Point and Stanley. A warning to sheep graziers for the northwest, the south and Bass Strait Islands. A road weather alert for snow on elevated roads as well. Bushwalkers alert for the western and central plateau. A strong wind warning from Stanley to Wineglass Bay and also from southeast Cape to Low Rocky Point. A small craft wind alert for the lakes. Very blowy tomorrow and the forecast indicates another shower or two for Hobart. 10 the top, 9 for Cygnet, showers for New Norfolk and 9 degrees. Launceston, a frost to start the day, possible early shower, -1, 11 the top, 12 for Devonport with an early shower. Morning frost for Campbelltown, a top of 9. Burnie, morning showers, 12 degrees, 11 for Strawn, winds easing later. A windy day for Smithton though, and 11 degrees as well. And for the east, morning showers, they'll increase during the day. For St Helens, 11 the top, 11 for Swansea, Fingal a top of 9 after -3. On Friday, a very cold start with widespread frost and fog. A fine day with the winds lightening right off. Another frost on Saturday with showers developing over the west in the morning before extending to most areas. And on Sunday, showers with a heavy fall or two in the west, easing during the evening. Showers easing from Perth tomorrow along with Melbourne. A sunny day but windy in Sydney. Fine and sunny and warming up for Brisbane, Cairns and Darwin. Current conditions, partly cloudy in Hobart, 8 degrees, clear in Launceston but cooling down to 5 and 8 right now in Devonport. That's the weather. Joe, what's going on with you there tonight? Is that a scarf or a tie or what's that?
Don't start messing with female fashion, Merv. Don't touch it. Thank you very much. That's all from us for now. Have a lovely evening. We'll see you with updates a bit later. Bye-bye.